Welcome back to Luxury Focus, everyone. Today we're diving into a topic that's been keeping me up at night, the wild world of watch investing. Trust me, after years in this industry, I've never seen anything quite like what's happening now. So grab your favorite timepiece, settle in, and let's unpack this roller coaster ride together. You know, I remember when I bought my first luxury watch. It was a Rolex Submariner, saved up for years, and I was over the moon. Back then, I never imagined it as an investment. It was pure love. But times have changed, haven't they? Now, before we jump in, I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below about your experiences with watch investing. Have you dipped your toes in? Are you a seasoned collector? Your insights are gold to us, and we'll be featuring some in our follow-up video. So don't be shy. All right, let's get into it. The watch market right now? It's like nothing I've ever seen. The volatility is off the charts, and a lot of it boils down to this trend of people trying to invest in watches. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm all for watch investing. Heck, I'd rather put my money in a beautiful timepiece than let it gather dust in a savings account. But here's the thing. There's investing, and then there's whatever this is. Let me paint you a picture. Imagine walking into a boutique, eyeing that gorgeous Patek Philippe you've been dreaming of, only to find out the price has tripled overnight. Why? Because someone heard a whisper that it might be discontinued. It's madness. Now, I've been in this game for a while, and I've made my fair share of investments. Some paid off, others, well, let's just say I learned some expensive lessons. But that's the point. It was a learning experience. What we're seeing now isn't investing. It's speculation gone wild. Take the Rolex Daytona Le Mans edition, for example. This watch, which is essentially a white gold Daytona with a few tweaks, saw its price skyrocket to over £250,000 after discontinuation. £250,000 for a modern watch. I remember holding one, feeling the weight of it and thinking, is this really worth a house? This is where we need to hit pause and really think about what we're doing. True watch investing isn't about quick flips or chasing the next hot rumor. It's about understanding the history, appreciating the craftsmanship, and yes, having a bit of foresight. When I invest in a watch, I'm looking at the long game. I'm thinking about the stories behind the brand, the innovations in the movement, the timeless appeal of the design. These are the things that hold value over time, not some fleeting trend or limited edition gimmick. But here's where it gets interesting, and a bit concerning. We're seeing people justify insane prices for the flimsiest reasons. A new dial color? Price doubles. A rumor of discontinuation? Price triples. It's like we've forgotten what makes a watch truly valuable. Let me share a personal story. A few years back, I had the chance to buy a vintage Omega Speedmaster. It wasn't in perfect condition, had a few scratches here and there, but it was a piece of history. I hesitated because it wasn't the hot watch at the moment. Well, guess what? That watch has now quadrupled in value, not because of hype, but because people have started to appreciate its significance in horological history. That's the kind of investing I can get behind. It's not about chasing trends. It's about understanding value. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room, pre-owned Rolexes. This is where things get really interesting. Imagine this. You want a Rolex Daytona. Brand new, it'll set you back $14,800. But here's the kicker. A pre-owned one? You're looking at $38,000 or more. Yes, you heard that right. More for used than new. It sounds crazy, doesn't it? But there's a method to this madness. Let's break it down. First off, scarcity. Rolex isn't just playing hard to get. They genuinely can't keep up with demand. It takes about a year to make a Rolex, and the waiting lists, they can stretch for months, even years. I remember putting my name down for a Submariner and joking that my unborn kids might inherit the waitlist position. This scarcity has turned the pre-owned market into a gold mine. According to a report by the Boston Consulting Group, 29% of collectors admitted to paying above retail for their most recent pre-owned watch. Why? 40% said it was to avoid those brutal waiting lists. But it's not just about availability. For many, including myself, there's something special about a pre-owned watch. It's got character, history. I've got a vintage Datejust that my father wore, and every scratch tells a story. That kind of personal touch, you can't buy it new. Plus, let's be honest. There's a certain pride in owning a Rolex from a bygone era. It's like owning a piece of history. I remember strapping on my first vintage Rolex, a 1675 GMT Master. The weight of its history was palpable. It had seen more of the world than I had. Now, this surge in the pre-owned market hasn't gone unnoticed by Rolex themselves. In late 2022, they launched their certified pre-owned program. It's a game changer. Imagine buying a used Rolex, but with the peace of mind that it's been verified and certified by Rolex themselves. It's brilliant, really. They're tapping into a market that was previously out of their control. But here's where I want to inject a note of caution. The pre-owned market, as hot as it is, isn't immune to fluctuations. We've seen prices cool off a bit recently, and there's more inventory floating around. It's a reminder that what goes up can come down. This volatility is exactly why I always advise people to buy watches they love, not just for investment. I've had clients who bought watches solely based on hype, only to see their value plummet months later. On the flip side, I've seen people fall in love with less popular models that later became highly sought after. Take the Rolex Explorer, for instance. It was often overlooked in favor of its flashier siblings, but in recent years its understated elegance has gained a cult following. I bought one years ago simply because I loved its simplicity. Now, it's one of the most appreciated models in my collection, both sentimentally and financially. This brings me to a crucial point: the importance of education in watch investing. It's not enough to follow trends or listen to so-called experts on social media. You need to dive deep, learn about movements, study brand histories, understand market dynamics. I spend hours each week reading vintage catalogs, talking to watchmakers, and yes, even making mistakes. But each misstep is a lesson learned. Remember that Omega Speedmaster I mentioned earlier? Missing out on that taught me to trust my instincts and my research, not just current market trends. As we wrap up, I want to emphasize something crucial. The watch market, volatile as it is still full of opportunity. But it requires patience, knowledge, and a genuine love for horology. Don't get caught up in the hype of quick flips and overnight price jumps. Instead, focus on building a collection that brings you joy, tells a story, and yes, maybe appreciates in value over time. Remember, a watch is more than just an investment. It's a piece of art, a feat of engineering, and often a personal milestone. My collection isn't just a portfolio, it's a timeline of my life. Each piece marks a moment, an achievement, a memory. So what's next for the watch market? Honestly, it's hard to say. But that's what makes it exciting. We might see a correction in some overinflated prices, or we might discover the next big thing in vintage watches. Whatever happens, I'll be here, watch on my wrist, ready to navigate it with you. Before we go, I want to hear from you. What's your take on the current state of watch investing? Have you had any surprising wins or unexpected losses? Share your stories in the comments. Your experiences are invaluable and they help us all learn and grow in this fascinating world of horology. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Luxury Focus for more deep dives into the world of luxury watches. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss our follow-up video where we'll be addressing your comments and diving even deeper into this topic. Thank you for joining me on this horological journey. Until next time, this is Luxury Focus, reminding you to invest wisely, collect passionately, and always appreciate the artistry on your wrist. Take care and keep those watches ticking.